You may have seen a lot of different types of keys on this channel, but over the many years of pugging and also being submitted Mythic Plus pug runs to review, there's one thing that really stands out to me, and that is at times a lower key may be harder than a higher key. We made a few videos on this now, and I think this one that you're going to see here today is a great example of why. All right, we are back in our favorite key, Atal Dazar. What a surprise here again. And low keys, this is pretty much the same phenomena we experienced in season 1 as well. Quarter stars looked like one of the easiest dungeons ever made for the Mythic Plus Salute, and people constantly struggled with it in low keys. I think at this point you guys have seen every possible mistake, but this one still manages to create new opportunities. So we have the terrifying visage go out, the warlock then tries to portal behind the wall instead of simply running and being in a good position. So obviously the pursuit immediately follows the fear, and that's going out on the druid DPS who is just standing right next to the boss. Now this guy gets eaten and doesn't die, which I'm surprised by. He uses a little bit of CDs there to survive, but I'm really shocked that a DPS can get eaten even on a 17 and not die. So just more hijinks here. Razan coming again to pursue. The DPS is going to run up the stairs for some reason. That's not the right way to go, and then just kind of panic, I guess. Just gonna get eaten. Now, I can't actually see the chat, but you can see the chat bubbles, which is funny. The guy says, well, it's better than spawning ads. Our famous last words. Not sure that's true, first of all. I think this is a common issue where people are just not in the right spot and then they panic when the fear comes out. Like you see, here comes the fear. At this point, you should be on the other side of the boss, because if you do get fixated, you do not want to run him this way. Like from this position, there's no way to not get eaten. Like you're in a terrible spot. You're way too close to the boss. Yeah, then we're going to get rezzed and I guess summoning our pet here or something like that. So we're just kind of standing still, not moving again from the fear, get feared again. And yeah, famous last words said before, it's better than spawning ads, but then you get feared and spawn ads. Honestly, the ads are not like a part of the fight. Like I really do not see a world where you're ever going to have a problem with the ads. We've seen the worst possible Razan kills and pulls now, and I've never really seen anybody struggle even with multiple raptors up, because the fight just doesn't really do anything to the tank. It has a bleed that lasts for a very short period of time, and then you have all this time in between to potentially do anything else you want to do. But yeah, so the boss dies. Yes, congratulations. The key is not over on Razan, so we have a little bit more to come. But all throughout this, you're going to see like this is why low keys are hard. Look at this. We have a warlock just basically just pulling trash on his own. Just here, he's the only one here because everybody was on the other side of the boss. Like if you didn't see what happened there, it's very crucial to understand why this happens. You see, it's basically just the warlock and the hunter right now. We can't see the mini map or the chat. We actually get a good frame of it here. Not exactly sure who these people are, but that's at least 2 group members down there and only 2 group members up here. So he's just going to go ahead and pull trash on his own. To be honest, these swords don't really need a tank, so it's not really the end of the world. But when you have only 2 players here, then they're just going to constantly jump to the same person over and over again. And this is all just a great example of like why low keys are such a mess, because you have DPS players who are not aware of what's going around them. No, they have no idea where a tank or healer is. They have no idea that the healer's dead. They're pulling trash, getting agitated by the fact that they're not doing the trash well, and then just like a general lack of clues. Like look at that guy's just run back now. The healer just took like that whole time to get back for some reason. Now we have like a really bizarre thing. I don't know when the last time I saw this was. We basically have like DPS just like doing a route that the tank is not doing. Come out of this sword pack, and you know, I think probably most people at this key level are just going left. Even the tank, he kind of baits them into going left a little bit there. So we have most of the group on this side of the dungeon. There's the stalker again, our famous friend over there. Healer's going to get stunned and he's just going to die again. So he took like 30 seconds to recover from that last death, and now he's dead again because somebody aggroed the stalker onto him. The tank's then going to go ahead and say this, pay attention. And to be honest, like, yes, this is why low keys are such a mess, because we have a tank who's like not necessarily moving with a lot of conviction. Whatever, he can do whatever route he wants. Honestly, this is not a route I would recommend for a 17 pug. He's now going to pull both sides over here, seemingly just to get count. We're not actually doing anything on this side other than killing these mobs. He's over in the corner typing, and again, while he's typing, the warlock's like, I don't care to wait for the tank to aggro things, so I'm going to do the tanking. I don't like doing this because it creates this confusion where you're going like side to side, and yeah, you see exactly why. I mean, this is exactly why something like this in a low key is just a bad idea. Should it cause this many issues? Absolutely not. Just always follow the tank, but sometimes people just don't do that. that. I'm not really sure how people actually die here, but yeah, the hunter is going to die. It looks like they're handling the pack kind of well. Like Monk is actually really good at this pack. Gonna kill that. Hunter is dead, but everything else is fine. And now we're gonna go over to the right side. Okay, so yeah, not going left. Instead, we're just getting some trash over there. We're gonna come over here. In that time, the warlock is getting mouthy again. He types, I mean, let me tank while you type. That works too. I don't know if this is normal or what, but like imagine trying to come into a key and just do like a chill, relaxed key, like a lower key. And this is the atmosphere of the key. You got DPS pulling for you. You're maybe a little bit unsure of what you want to do routing wise as the tank. This is why like low keys literally can be harder than higher keys. I think like a 27 with competent players would be far easier than a 17 with these guys. Then he's going to do this. And yeah, this is now totally ridiculous. Like I have no idea why you would try to skip that pack like this. I don't even know if this is possible because again, there is a patrol in stealth and guess who it is? It's another stalker. The stalker aggroes the druid. It looks like the resto druid and then the rest of the pack comes because of how close the stalker and the players are to it. And that is going to be a wipe and a disband to that right there. Now, funny, you actually notice something here, and this is really why low keys suck. You have the tank type, thanks for coming. It's his key seemingly, and then he's going to go ahead and leave. It's just an absolute mess. Like you took a very easy dungeon and pretty much everybody in the group contributed to making it as hard as humanly possible. But I don't really know how to suggest fixing this. Like there's not really a ton mechanically done wrong. Obviously like Razan's a shit show yet again. I don't know if you could even do that fight without a bunch of weird stuff going on lower keys. A lot of people freak out about this. Like we talked about this the last time where the warrior got feared 6 times on 2 pulls. That looks really bad. It's very bad optics, but the fear does not even do damage. It does not matter if you get feared. The problem is what comes after the fear. Typically, if you get feared, you will either aggro a raptor or you will get fixated and then be in a bad position because you got feared and potentially die. They look bad, but they're not real. The only mistake is dying and potentially not rezzing. I don't know. Like there's a death, a res. If the fight doesn't even matter. If the healer's dead, it doesn't matter at all. The fight's so freaking easy that you really have to try to mess it up in a critical way. Players are just not, first of all, aware of their surroundings. Like we have the warlock pulling trash when the tank and the healer, they're like 100+ yards away from the trash that you just pulled on 2 different directions. Like the one guy's at the entrance and the other guy's still at the boss and you're pulling the trash for him. If I was the tank, I would already be immediately frustrated with this. I think the only way to really solve this is just with patience. Realize you're doing something very easy. I see why the tank would leave in that situation, especially if it's his key. This is why I hate doing my own key, because when you do your own key and you invite people, you have a slew of people you can pick, like tons and tons of people you can pick. He chose a guy who is literally pulling trash for him and then blaming him. It's pretty nuts. This is actually insane to me. I would feel so bad if I picked this guy. It would be such a frustrating experience. Like, wow, I actually picked that guy who's now making me have no fun in this key at all. At the end of the day, though, words are wind. I don't know how you fix this. I really don't, but I see this a lot where these low keys are just filled with chaos. Nobody really trying to solve it, actually agitating it further in this case. And the result is a disband that is pretty unfortunate and kind of hard to watch, to be honest. If you guys are out there running lower keys, please consider recording them and send in the funny stuff to me. We have some absolutely hilarious submissions already this season, and there are definitely some more to come. Thank you for watching. We will see you guys in the next one.